My name's Grant Barnes, and for my Upcycle project, I made a guitar strap out of recycled beer boxes. I decided to go with a beer wall aesthetic. Knowing that I had a bunch of beer boxes laying around, I know I wanted to make my project out of those recycled boxes, and I couldn't think of a better way to implement an aesthetic. A beer wall is basically just a bunch of cut out faces of a beer box, and they're hung on the wall. Mostly in college dorms or in apartments and housing for college students. But I wanted to match the aesthetic shown on the right. For my specifications, firstly, it needed to be able to support the weight of a guitar. I plan on using it on my acoustic guitar. However, I at the moment do not have an attachment point for a guitar strap on my acoustic. So it also needs to be able to support the weight of my electric guitar, which is about twice as heavy. I'd say maybe 10, 15 pounds. Um, the beer logos of the beer brands need to be discernible. That's definitely one of the things that makes the aesthetic on the right what it is being able to see those logos. That's 90% of what it is. The other 10% would be the shape of the boxes, the squares of them. I wanted to also encapsulate that in the guitar strap. I began by measuring the width of my current guitar strap, and I found that to be 2 inches. So I decided to cut the box faces into 1-inch strips. That way, when I folded it to the desired width, there would be two squares or two essentially strips going down that whole width. Um, so I began by cutting boxes into those 1-inch strips. I then started weaving them together as shown in the picture on the both the pictures on the right. I made sure to line the logos up of each weave. It's almost as if you can see each box in one, the way they're weaved together. That's definitely to help be able to discern the logos when you're looking at it, especially if it's only going to be 2 strips in width. I wanted that continuity. So I continued doing that until I got the length of my current guitar strap, or roughly. Once I finished that, I realized the weave um, wasn't super structurally sound, so I wanted to put duct tape on the back, both to add strength and support, but also to make it easier for me to move and flip the weave over without worrying that it was going to come undone. So I then folded the sides up to match the 2-inch width that I was going for, and trimmed most of the excess on the end, leaving a few flaps. And those flaps that I used on the sides were then folded over into a kind of make a continuous pattern. I ended up weaving those 2 back sides together, which continued the pattern that I was going for, and it also avoided using glue or tape or anything that would kind of be an eyesore. At that point, I needed a way to attach it to the guitar, so I found a cool box design that I liked. I cut out cardboard, folded it in half, cut it to the correct width, and I was able to actually stuff that into the end. I then stapled that down on the backside to help hide those staples. From there, I measured a hole using my current guitar strap to cut out the hole that would end up going on the guitar attachment itself. So I did my best in that bottom right there to kind of match what is on the strap above. After that, I cut out a semicircle on each end to kind of give it a cleaner look, more finished look. And not shown in these pictures, I actually added a little bit of thin strip of duct tape around the outside just to kind of give it some more support. Yeah, because that's going to probably be where most of the stress is going to be on this guitar strap. From here, it was just putting it on the guitar. So it attached very well to the guitar. It was a tight fit at first. Kind of had to loosen it on there. But it fits on well and it attaches snugly. the weave pattern combined with the duct tape actually is strong enough to easily hold the weight of my electric guitar. And it's the perfect size almost for where I like when I'm wearing it at the height that I ideally wanted it at. So I believe that I reached my functional goals. Artistically, I do believe that I matched the beer wall aesthetic. I got the square shape of the boxes, and you're also able to see the logos through and identify kind of what beer boxes went into making this project. I believe it also is a look into kind of who I am as a person, um, what kind of taste I have, and what I prefer, which kind of gives the audience tells a story about me. So I do believe I also achieved my artistic goals. Next steps, I would like to improve the comfort a little bit on the backside. Those weaves definitely kind of poke into my shoulder a little bit when using it, so I want to find a way to kind of lay those down. Potentially maybe laminating it to just make it a smooth um, piece. I potentially want to add some adjustability in case in the future I want to be able to adjust the height at which my guitar sits instead of having to make a whole new guitar strap. And I also need to just break it in a little bit. It's definitely really sturdy and stiff. So I think with continued use that will kind of loosen up a bit and become a little more comfortable. My question to everyone would be, if you were me, what method would you have gone through to kind of create that continued pattern on the backside? Um, that we've definitely ended up having some downsides. I was wondering if there's definitely anything better you guys thought I could do.